Boom, we are pre-recorded today. Again, ladies and gentlemen, I want to start off by thanking you all for sharing your most valuable asset with us. That's your time. It's been one heck of a ride in the blockchain space. Both Raven, Flow, Cardano, and a few of the other ones that we have been watching in the bear den had all exploded the last week. Now, I have basically taken profits for most of those positions and weighed out as the weakness in the Bitcoin space is actually somewhat reminiscent of the last year's movement when we saw Raven run and Bitcoin fall just shortly afterwards. Now, I'm not saying that these are in any way intrinsically connected to what might be happening in the price movement, but early in November, around November 10th last year, Raven had a beautiful run, and then right after that, we saw that stagnancy in Bitcoin finally break down. And that's what we're going to be looking at today, is essentially the stagnant price movement in Bitcoin over the last little while. Now, this has been one of these longer, more contentious aspects, I think, of the Bitcoin price movement, is that people are really married to the idea that, oh, if Bitcoin's price goes down any lower, it wouldn't be profitable for miners and da-da-da-da-da. Well, you have to remember that at the beginning of all this, it wasn't profitable to mine Bitcoin in the first place. It actually cost more in money and more in gear. But it wasn't until later on that that payoff came. It was almost a future investment into the experience and the blockchain itself that paid off for the miners later on down the road. Bitcoin's price can still go lower, and it doesn't necessarily require the miners do anything. The SHA-256 algorithm changes its difficulty level depending on how many people are mining it. So if someone wants to drop out of the mining game because it's too expensive for them, it makes it easier for the other people to do just that. So, very interesting space. Again, the fact that we haven't been able to jump up to the $4,200 area again is one of the reasons why I don't think we're going to go higher here, especially if we zoom out. Let's go to the 4-hour chart. It'll look a little more noticeable here. If we scroll out from the 4-hour chart and we use our EMAs to take a look at some of the information that's going on here. My internet is just so slow when I don't want it to be. It's funny. I've been working all morning and it wasn't that slow at all, and then all of a sudden, now it's super slow. Okay, so we've been riding the what happened here? Where's my EMAs? There we go. On the 1 day, that's what I wanted. So on the 1 day, we've actually jumped up to touch the 100-day exponential moving average, and we've been stuck in that area. Now, what's nice here is we actually see the 50-day and the 100-day starting to move closer together inside of this triangle. And I actually had suspect that and I still do suspect we'll see one more quick touch of the $4,100, $4,200 area, and then another trial of the triangle. This is going to become important because I believe the rest of the blockchain space is going to move in lockstep. Again, the last time that happened, if we look back to Raven's price movement during that time, look at Raven since when? From February 20th to March 20th here, you went from 200 or 300 Satoshis all the way up to 1,600. What a beautiful move. Wow. It's just absolutely incredible. It's a 600% move almost in less than a month. So this is why we like to keep an eye on certain tokens. And now we get to really ask ourselves the question, was that wave 3 of 3 extending and the potentiality of a wave 5 coming in on Raven, which would be absolutely monumental? Really looking forward to seeing what that brings out in the future. Again, we've hit the 1618 extensions of the from the bottom of the 250 Satoshis to where we to the top of the last wave around 866 Satoshis. So we've now reached the full extension of the 1618 on that first wave. Again, I suspect, I don't think that we're going to go much higher, and we've seen a lot of stagnancy in the price in the last, especially if you roll in on the 1-hour chart, it's a little more noticeable here. So I actually ended up taking profits around the 1200 Satoshi mark. Again, my goal here is just to follow a trading strategy that works. It's not to FOMO in or out. So even though we missed another few hundred Satoshis in movement, I don't count that as a loss. Again, I count this all as a win for following my trading strategy, entering and exiting positions, and taking those profits. Again, if you go back to the 1-day chart on Raven, the first time we had entered the position and then exited, I think we exited Raven around 900, and then it ran all the way up to, let's see here, let's scroll in. So the first time we entered Raven was around October. It ran all the way up to, at its peak, around 970 Satoshis. I think we had exited around 750, and everyone was like, oh, it's going to keep going. It'll just keep going forever. Raven. And that's when you really want to be selling. Because then you have this long, big retracement as Bitcoin's price fell all the way back down to 250 Satoshis. Again, much lower than the 236 line that we normally look for re-entries. So just see if we drag that down here. The 236 line was around 380 Satoshis, and we fell down to around 250. So we fell just below the 236 line on the full extension of that first wave. This is why we think HODL is such a horrible idea. Although on the same point, if you had bought and you HODLed and you just waited, you're still up another 40% from where you were back in October. But if you had exited your position, even at 700, rebought back in around 300 or 400, and then rode it all the way back up to 1200, you're making a significant more gain. And for me, I guess the interesting part here is really following the trends and the playbook that I'm interested in following. Now, Flow was the other one that we've been looking at. It's starting to feel a little more, let's see, risky. So I've weighed out of my position here, even though I think that it could try to test higher, especially with this kind of, let's remove this here so it's a little easier to see. Where's my other wave count? There we go, remove that, beautiful. So we saw this big push this morning right off the 50-day exponential moving average. We went from around 1490 on Flow here just the other day on March 25th. Oh, sorry, what day was this? Why is my internet? Okay, around March 19th. We were down around the 1300 Satoshi mark, and then we had this nice run up into the 2200 Satoshi, at least on the wicks. If we scroll in on a little bit shorter of a time frame, it's becoming a bit more perilous to me. Now, I do believe that this could be the start of wave 3, which could bring us significantly higher. Again, if we just look at the extension of this single wave retracement from where we started back in February 19th, we could be looking at around 2600 Satoshis on this next run. So I have kept a small position in Flow. Again, none of this is investment advice. This is strictly for information and educational purposes only. But again, these ideas, just as we're about to break over on the RSI here too, Flow could go for another little bit of a run. Again, just keep a close eye on all these things. Join the Telegram channel if you haven't yet. If you're interested in joining our private Bear Den Club, the links for that are down below. It's $20 a month. It will come with a newsletter, push updates through our private Telegram channel, which will be just a one-way Telegram channel, as a lot of you guys had asked for, just the traders' comments and conversations, whereas we'll keep the Bear Den always open for everyone's thoughts. Man, you guys throw down so much value in there, it's impossible for me to keep up. And I know you guys mentioned the Binance token back when it was $5 in the beginning of January. We saw a 300% gain from that. I just don't have enough capacity to take it all in. So one of the reasons why we want to build the Bear Den out is to offer the other ideas and the trades that are taking place that you guys are interested in more space to do that. And that's essentially what the private Bear Club will be. It'll be our focus on providing value for all of those ideas that we can't take a look at as individuals, but that there are other people helping with charts, notes, and dives into those companies. So very exciting to look forward to the future of building all of this together. We are just at the nascent beginning phases of all this, so we have not seen almost anything yet. Anyways, I'm going to end this off with just a quick look at Litecoin. Again, very, very stagnant in its price, almost identical to what Bitcoin has been doing. It's been hovering around the $60 area in that ascending triangle that we had drawn out. Have I deleted it already? Oh, no. I think I deleted that triangle by accident. Anyways, the point of this is, we've actually filled a really nice volume profile filled around the $60 here for Litecoin. That's actually really nice to see. You know, I'm not a huge fan of Litecoin right now because, well, even though we had a $25 to $6 or $25 to $50 gain, which is 100% gain, when Raven does 500, 600% in a month, it's like, well, again, this is why I only can stay focused on so much, is because if I focus on one thing, I'm going to miss out on another, and da-da-da-da-da. It's just one of those brain trial ideas where it's too much to take in. But I actually really like to see that Litecoin has built this nice profile fill around the $60 area, because it matches the $20 area where we were down below. I actually have a lot more confidence in Litecoin now. Again, I don't look at it as losses. Like, none of it's like, oh, you could have bought it at 25 bucks. If you're a trader and you're thinking like that, you're going to lose often because you don't have a trade strategy in play. I exited Litecoin somewhere around the $180 mark on the last play that we had tried to make on it. And I think we entered at 160 and we ended up leaving it at 167 because we're like, oh, this is not going well. This is not going well for Bitcoin at all. And then we saw a big drop. So I have lots of room in the play between my last exit and my re-entry. Anyways, the point of this is I try to remove as much emotion as possible from this space. Litecoin is actually looking like it's built quite a nice profile fill, but I'm more interested in what Bitcoin's price does. If Bitcoin's price comes down, it's going to bring Litecoin down with it. There's just nothing Litecoin can do to hold sway by itself. There's hardly anyone in the world that knows what Litecoin is. But people know what Bitcoin and blockchain are. So if the sentiments of Bitcoin start to go down, I do believe Litecoin will see lower lows than we had previous as well. Anyways, we'll just have to keep our eye on that one as we go. Stay with the Arcane Bear. Remember, sign up for our newsletter, the free one, www.arcanebear.com. Scroll all the way to the bottom. Send us a sign up there. If you want, join the private one as well. We've had a bunch of you join already, so I'm very grateful for that. I'm excited to start pushing out those updates. We're just using the new mailer campaign and all this fun nonsense technical stuff that I don't really like in the background. Give us those thumbs up. Leave your comments and your thoughts down below. Again, we're grateful for all of you guys that are helping book interviews. We were on the phone with the CEO for Komodo this morning. We'll be booking an interview with them, and we've got more interviews coming up in the future with you guys. So we hope you appreciate and enjoy all this content. If you don't, give us the thumbs down as well, because hey, who really cares? YouTube loves all of the thumbs up or thumbs down. The algorithm actually works positive in both directions. So we'll see you guys on the other side. I'm signing off for the rest of the day, as I do have kind of a sore throat. Ugh. And it wasn't from ranting too much. Normally, if I get a sore throat from ranting too much, I'm actually quite happy about that, but not today. We'll see you guys on the other side, and thank you for joining us.